Ben and Jerry's ice cream is in over their absolute woke heads. On July 4th, the birth of the United States of America, they decided to woke tweet. And my God, if there was ever a woke tweet, it was this one. We talked about it, but if you guys didn't get to check this out, they basically tried to attack everybody and shame them, claiming that on 4th of July, it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Learn more and take action now. And they have a website. Look at this. They are literally going fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here. They need to start with Mount Rushmore. They're talking about how Mount Rushmore was stolen and that South Dakota belongs to this tribe, indigenous leaders that they took it from, and that the Black Hills are known to the Lakota as the heart of everything that is, and that U.S. officials basically need to return it. They literally made a petition right here that you guys can sign if you agree with Ben and Jerry's ice cream. A tweet on 4th of July. Like, what are they smoking? What are these companies smoking that they're trying to virtue signal and make all this whole social justice warrior type of, I guess, campaigns to promote their product? Did they not learn from Bud Light? Did they not learn from other previous mistakes recently, like M&M's and you name it? I don't think they did. I do not think they did. This, to me, screams we are so out of touch. Just the fact that they did this on 4th of July, I have no clue. But they had been through the grinder. They've been called out. We talked about it. And now they are being called out by a tribe because they're saying people should return the land as stolen. Well, their hypocrisy is being called out. They called on people for the U.S. to hand over all stolen indigenous land, but according to this, their HQ sits on Native American soil in Vermont, as a local chief calls for woke ice cream company to engage in talks. So according to this, they have come under fire because of their tweet from July 4th, shaming people to return indigenous stolen land. And now a Native American chief is saying, yo, okay, well, you said it, let's go. So kind of interesting. On top of this, their co-founder, Ben Cohen, was arrested this last week. So they're going through some things right now, so to speak. Bud Light was one thing, but Ben and Jerry's, they said, hey, hold my ice cream cone. And they decided to go a whole other level. Who knows what they're thinking right here. So evidently they're not interested in discussing returning any land, but they want you guys, anybody that's running a company, anybody that has a house, to return their land. So why they chose to attack America as a country on stolen land on Independence Day on their social medias, because this was on Instagram and Twitter too, and a petition campaign, who knows? But fucking weird. Now, this was an interesting twist when it was revealed that Ben & Jerry's HQ is on Native American indigenous land. I believe it's South Burlington, Vermont. So that previously was controlled by a tribe called the Abenaki, and now they want it back because of their tweet. So have the turntables have turned. Is that what the meme is from The Office? Honestly, dude, nobody wants ice cream companies or beer companies or any kind of corporations to jump into this identity politics sphere where it's just ultimately cringe. All right? Oh, Eric, you and your woke. No, this is the epitome of woke right here. When somebody tries to use identity politics and some kind of form of virtue signaling to make people, I guess, aware of social injustices and, oh, look, these people are oppressed and blah, blah, blah. But hey, put your money where your mouth is, Ben and Jerry's. You're not talking the talk or walking the walk. You're just pointing fingers and wanting a pat on the back. So the chief of this thing in Vermont said that he would love to see his land returned to the original Native American owners, that you're trying to shame them. You are trying to shame them. Now, in my opinion, Ben and Jerry said it themselves. They want a petition. They want people to return stolen land, that it should be returned. So doesn't it seem obvious that the woke ice cream company, Ben and Jerry, should immediately be in the process of handing over its headquarters and, I guess, any kind of locations, stores, plants, factories? As I choke over my words, let me drink some water. It is 102 degrees outside. Holy smokes. But yeah, they should be returning any and all land across America. You know, any property that they have that was ever controlled by Native Americans, if it's on that land, Ben and Jerry should be first one in line. They should be the first ones at the forefront, since they're trying to get Mount Rushmore returned to the Native Americans. I'm not against the Native Americans. I'm not against indigenous peoples. I'm not against, you know, doing stuff. But this whole virtue signaling, like, oh, it needs to be returned, it's stolen land, blah, 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 blah. Dude, do not open the fucking can of worms if you're not going to be the one jumping in and fucking swallowing the 8-inch worm. All right? You're the ones that started this. You're the ones that put the woke tweet out on 4th of July. This is your baby. This is your burden. Quit the hypocrisy. All right? I think that, again, like I said, they're more than willing to talk the talk, but it's a different case when they are trying to walk the walk. And I think there's been different media outlets that have tried to reach out to Ben and Jerry's. I think Outkick is one of them. And they asked if there was any plans to return the land and what the timetable was. And they were met to a no response. No single request for comment was returned at all. Of course, that's why it is virtue signaling, because there's no intent to do anything right. It's just pointing the finger at people. For a company that was super unbelievably vocal with their tweet about how horrible America is, how fucking bad we are as a fucking nation, and that Mount Rushmore needs to be returned, and that all stolen land needs to be returned, to be dead silent speaks volumes. All right? It's sad. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. Why isn't Ben and Jerry's doing something? Right? Why? That's what I want to know. The fact that they are silent doesn't surprise me, because most people that try to do this whole SJW stuff, when they get called at, they back out. You know, it's easy to talk a huge game, but honestly, they won't do it because there's so much money. And wasn't it revealed that they're not even an American company anyway? Like their parent company's based out of like England or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, I think Ben and Jerry's, according to some data that's shown on this article, they have over 580 locations across America. How many of them are on land that was controlled by Native Americans at one point? Huh? I know they got stuff in Minneapolis, right? They got stuff in probably Oklahoma. They got stuff in Vermont. They got stuff in Texas. So how many of these lands are going to be Native Americanly controlled lands that were taken away at one point? So come on, Ben and Jerry's. Show us something if you want a virtue signal. Ridiculous.